My name is Jessica West, Charles I. West granddaughter.
My granddad was in World War II. He served as a field surgeon and was wounded in France. Upon his return to the United States, my grandfather settled in Detroit, Michigan, where he met my grandmother, called her Mama Dottie. They married and they had 2 sons, my father John and my uncle Rocky. In 1954, the family moved to Las Vegas at the suggestion of Count Basie. He was well known for being a band leader, but him and my grandfather were very good friends. Count Basie saw the need for doctors and African American leaders to move to Las Vegas because of the racial climate. But that was the reason my grandfather came to Las Vegas, was to better the Black community and also ultimately to care for and take care of the Black community. I do think he was greatly respected by his colleagues of all colors in the community as a whole. My grandfather knew quite a few entertainers like Red Fox, Lena Horne, Count Basie. He was friends of many of the entertainers at the time. And this was a time where Black entertainers were unable to stay in the hotels on the Strip that they entertained in. I was only 5 when my grandfather passed. It really wasn't until he passed, the day of his services, that I understood the magnitude of his presence and spirit and the effect it had on the Las Vegas community, the Black community in particular. Everybody came out to pay their respects to my granddad, and it was just a huge event. To this day, I don't think I've ever been to an event with so many people. And then as I got older and I actually came out to Vegas and came out here to live, I moved into my grandfather's first home in Berkeley Square and met some of my neighbors, and they actually were patients of my granddad. One woman told me he had birthed her 8 children and that her husband actually had passed away right in my grandfather's arms. I also remember me and my sister being tasked with some of my grandfather's storage and boxes and things. And I remember finding all of these IOUs. I learned later that if a patient couldn't pay for their services, a lot of times my grandfather would just write an IOU, or they would pay my granddad in pies. It just really spoke volumes to his character, because he was just such a caring, generous, and amazing man. When my grandfather passed away, the Las Vegas Sun wrote a column on him, and I think they said it best: the freedom fighter has lost a true champion. What does Dr. West mean to the community today? My grandfather meant a lot to the community. I know how much this school means to our family, and hopefully to those in the community. I know for many this school is very important. I know that in particular the school are starting at K and going all the way to senior year in high school is very important to others. I do hope that many of the students, if not all of the students, are proud to wear the Husky name and to wear my grandfather's name on their uniform. I do also hope that our students become more familiar with my grandfather's story and learn to exemplify his attributes, such as kindness and generosity and just being of service to others, especially in students or people's time of need. When I think about my grandfather's legacy, above all, my grandfather loved his community and generally just cared for people. He wanted to leave the world a better place, And because of all of the lives he had touched and genuine connections he had made in this community, it was a better place. And he lives on not just in me and his other grandchildren and great-grandchildren, but in everyone who remembers his legacy and keeps his legacy alive by helping someone in times of need. And that's truly what he did. And his legacy lives on in every student in West Prep that believes in doing good for others and helping others. And that was my grandfather's legacy. We are reminded all too often that we have to make every moment count. And that is what my grandfather did. And that is how I hope everyone remembers him. Thank you.